You may have a question like how to track all of that progress that we make in an open source project. So for that, I use a tracker doc. So let me show you how does it look like. Hi, so I'm back in the same t-shirt, and in this video we are going to cover like what are the things that we have to know before contributing to open source. Before starting all of this, just a little disclaimer that all of these things are like a personal experience of me, and these are not kind of some laws or something like that. So in some cases I may be wrong, or you may have a better opinion than me. So feel free to choose the one that work for you really well. First thing first, you should know the objectives that you have from open source. And people have different kind of objectives. Like sometimes people are there for learning. Many people are there for job or internship. Some people are there for bounties itself, and some people do it for fun. But all of these, the real objective is like making impactful contributions. So all of these objectives, be it learning, job, internship, bounties, and fun, so all of these can be achieved by this simple thing, that is making impactful contributions. Okay, so after that there are some mindset things that we have to keep in mind basically while contributing to open source. So the first thing in open source, like it's not code all the time. So whenever we hear that okay, someone is a open source contributor, then the first thing that come to our mind is that okay, he contribute code and he or she contribute the code. But that is true in most of the cases, but not all the time. Good contributor is always pushing the code. Good contributor is also the one who understand the product. Is a good contributor is also the one who keep the documentation maintained and clean. So there are a lot of other ways as well to contribute, not all the time code. And along with code, I mean, even though you are totally focused on code, you also have to uh, contribute in other ways like documentation or reviewing others work or helping others. So later in this video we will discuss like how to do all of that. The second thing is quality beats quantity, and this is my one of favorite philosophies. So even though you make two PRs, but they should be high in quality instead of quantity. So I mean, chase the impact. We are not there for quantity. We are not there for just for the sake of contributions. We are there for impact, and it's the impact only that will lead us to whatever objectives that we have. So always focus on quality, and initially you can ignore it, and your goal should be to just get started with open source and get your first PR merged. Then when the time will go by, we will have to focus on quality issues. And also we will later discuss like what kind of issues are high in quality, and basically uh, how do we know like this particular issue is really impactful. And after that is start small and take big strides later. So initially that is the most common issue with most of the beginners in open source. Like they kind of pick really big issues and they kind of try to bite more than they can chew. So that is really a problem because you will get disappointed and you will get demoted very soon, and you will just leave it and you will think okay, open source is not for me. So always start small and then start making strides. Once you are confident enough, then start picking bigger issues and complex implementations to do that. Also keep your ego aside. Like it will happen a lot of times when you will not be able to fix something, or someone else will propose a better solution than you, or their PR will get merged and yours will be closed. So in all of those cases, we don't have to take it in on our ego, and we don't have to be like angry or demotivated. This thing happens. Sometimes we hit and sometimes we miss. And after that, track everything. So contributing to open source is a huge thing. It's not like doing DSA. It's kind of, there are a lot of moving pieces in when we contribute to open source. So it's really important that you track everything, like what kind of issues you have to raise, what kind of PRs that you have to raise, which issues you are currently working on, and something like that. And I will show you a method just after a couple of minutes, like a proper document method that I personally use to track everything. So you can use that to manage all of that so that you don't get overwhelmed basically, and can move fast, make more contributions in a less time. And after that, one more philosophical thing, like hard things have less competition. So the one reason why I always say that like quality beats quantity, because hard things have less competition. So you will see this whenever you will contribute to open source project. You will see this, that easy issues will have more contributors, like more people will be asking there, like assign this to me, assign this to me. While the issues that are extremely hard or like really complex, there will be very less people, less to or no people who will be asking for it or taking the initiative. So that will be our time to shine. So we will be picking those hard issues. Also, there are many times we may feel like, how will I survive here? Like we feel like inferiority complex, because there are so many talented people already contributing there. So we kind of think, how will I make my place here? Like where people of around 3 years of experience are contributing here. So the first thing, never look at their profile. So basically, you won't get hypnotized by their green chart. That is really important, and that personally helped me. And the second thing is, everyone is a beginner in the beginning. So uh, you have you must have the courage that, okay, even though I am a beginner, but still there are ways to make it, and I will be the one who will do it. So you have to persist. That is the key in open source. And after that, open source compounds really well. So this thing is really important to understand. Let's say you are facing really hard problems in open source, and every single day you are thinking to quit. But again, think it this way, that open source is a kind of thing that compound. So basically, let's say it took you around 2 months to make a couple of contributions in a project. Then when you will contribute in a new project, let's say, then it will take you only a couple of weeks, because you already have those learnings. You only already have gone through all of those hardships that will make you strong enough to do anything in the next projects. And the kind of confidence those that struggle will bring in you, that will be more than enough to keep you going all the time. So the point is, open source compounds really well, and if you uh, stick in it for a long time, then the ROI it will give you will be huge and more than what you had expected. And also, very important, don't chase perfection, just act. So don't keep on adding new features, or don't keep on adding improving your pull request. And in the end, and when you raise it, in the end you got to know that, okay, all of that was not even needed. So just whatever solution you have, code it, test it locally, and fulfill all the requirements, and just act. Basically, just raise the draft or raise the PR and ask the maintainer to review your code. And one more thing that is really important to understand, that initially the blind confidence helps a lot. So when I was very new to open source, I was contributing in a code base that was in Python. So its backend was in Python, and front end was in TypeScript. So I used to know only TypeScript that time, but I had a blind confidence. So I just said the maintainer that, okay, I am going to fix this issue. And that was purely in Python and SQL, Alchemy, all of that. So even though it was a kind of blind confidence, but still I kind of pushed myself. And in the end of the day, I was able to raise a PR and fix it. And the maintainer really appreciated for me for that. After that, getting issues or PRs closed is okay. Sometimes when you will raise an issue and according to you, it might be a game changing feature or issue, but maintainer may close it because he may not able to find any sense in it. So that's totally okay. Obviously, that's all what open source means, because there are a lot of opinions, a lot of people are there. So we have to respect the perspective of other people as well. So just chill. And in the end, my favorite, persist. Okay, so after that, there are a couple of things that we have to do, and also there are a lot of things that we don't have to do. So basically, things that to things to increase your aura. So the first thing is to be hyper proactive, and obviously without being annoying. So always there are two types of people. One is a naive doer, and one is a sophisticated thinker. So be a naive doer. So instead of telling the maintainer that I will do this, I will do this, and this is my strategy, this is my plan, or I have implemented this in XYZ repo, something like that, just do it. Just create a proof of concept PR, raise a draft, and do bunch of experiments, and just come up with your results, and just then ping the maintainer. Okay, I have did such kind of thing, and now please let me know your thoughts. So be more of a doer than of a thinker. So because when you do something, you go ahead, you make a mistake really fast, you learn it, and you just keep on moving ahead. So this is really a great way to stay ahead to the competition or to the saturation. Second thing is attention is limited, so use it wisely. Now, why I'm saying that? When the project is big and the it is a kind of enterprise level open source project, then in that case there are a lot of issues and there are a lot of things that are going on. So the attention of the maintainers is very limited. So we have to make efforts to use it very wisely. And so one thumb rule that I personally always use, like if something can be solved using existing tools like chat gpt or google and etc., in most cases it does, then don't ask the maintainer. The less you ask, the more impact you are going to have, and the more uh, effective contributions that you are going to make. Obviously, in many cases, you will need to ask the maintainer for it. So, overall, asking the maintainer should be your last resort when you are not able to do anything and you have tried all the possible methods that you could. Then, in that case, ping the maintainer and take help of them. And so, something there is something related to the same thing, like uh, whenever you are pinging a maintainer, or this thing will help you in cold DMs or cold emails as well. So basically, whenever you are about to ask something important to someone important, always take a minute or two to frame your question or frame your whatever you are about to say properly, so that you can get their attention immediately, and also you can make it crisp, to the point, and very simple for them to understand. So what it basically does is it increase your chances of getting a reply, because they are able to because they are able to find it simple, just when they look into it. And also, obviously, this tip will help you in cold DMs and cold emails as well. Later on in this series itself, I will make a video on how to do cold DMs. So after that, there is do the homework first and before discussing it. So basically, there are a lot of things that you have to do before asking the question. Have you read the question properly? Have you understand its context properly? Because see, in open source, no one is going to spoon feed you everything. So you will have to help yourself. So now you may have a question like, uh, how to kind of get that context. So one of the best way to get a high level context of the product or the open source project that you are contributing to is to use that project in your daily life. So, let's say there is a document related project, then use it for your documents. So, what will happen is it will give you a really broad context. When you will use it as a user, you will be able to see the problems in it, and you will be able to see the potential of improvements in it. And those improvements or those bugs that you will find will be really helpful, and also they will indicate the maintainer that okay, this guy actually care about the product, not just about the code and always just pushing the PRs. And also this thing kind of saves a lot of questions, so that you don't have to be really dependent on the maintainer, because you already understand the project as a at a product level, from a product level view, so that you don't end up asking silly questions or the questions that are pretty obvious. And after that, one more thing that you have to do in open source, and that is to help others. So see, this is the basic principle of open source. Like we help someone, someone helps someone, and this way that this chain keep on going. So we have to help others to get help for ourselves. Also, one more reason to help others is because we learn a lot when we try to teach someone. And it can be a text, obviously you don't have to get into a video call with someone, but just in a text, when you try to make someone understand something, then you understand it in a better way, so you learn a lot about that particular thing. And also it make you a good contributor overall. And that's how open source work. When people notice you that you are helping person, they are also more likely to help you. Just a basic thing, but still important to keep in mind. And so you may have a question like how to help others, like initially. So for that, the best pro tip I always suggest people is that read the code of conduct. So every open source project will have a code of conduct. Mostly it is same, but sometimes it depends on project to project. So they may have couple of different things comparing to other open source projects. So that is why I recommend people uh, to read that code of conduct. In that code of conduct itself, they mention how to contribute. They also mention that whether you require to ask for the permission or the assignment to start working on an issue or not. And uh, what kind of practices they use. Do they use uh, object oriented programming or not? Do they use functional programming, and etc.? So always read this code of conduct. It will not take more than 10 to 20 minutes. And one more advantage of it is that not everyone reads it. So that is really helpful. And there are a lot of missing pieces in the code of conduct. So if you read it, then you are way ahead of others who don't do it. Most of the times 80 out of the 100 people don't read this code of conduct because they think that this is boring. This is boring, I agree, but this is important as well. And so this is one example of a code of conduct of Django. And I read it, and there were a couple of lots of things, basic things like don't be abusive to someone, don't like post racist comments, something like that. But also they mention kind of practices that they follow. So it's really important. After that, one more thing that you need to know is know the basics. Obviously, many times I mentioned that even absolute beginners can contribute to open source, but absolute beginners doesn't mean absolute beginners. Like you should know some basics, like you should know how to fork a repo, how to clone it locally, what is a rebase, what is merge, what is fetch, how to keep your branches in sync, and how to push your code, how to solve conflicts, and something like that, how to use stas. So you should know basics. It will not take more than a day to get all of that. Also, you should know basic programming. Obviously, you cannot ask what is a for loop to a maintainer. that would be weird. Obviously, you need to know some terms like what is upstream and what is origin, etc. Okay, so along with the basics, you need one more key element to contribute to open source. And without this element, you cannot contribute to open source, no matter how talented you are. So that key element is having patience. So basically, the reviews and all of this open source process that takes a lot of time. You raise a PR today, then the maintainer will review your PR either on weekends or whenever he will or she will get time. So it takes a lot of time, but it doesn't mean that you have to wait for them to review you. In the meanwhile, you can use your time wisely. So that is why I mentioned that you must have a tracker sort of thing, like so that you can track all the issues that you are working on and everything at one place, so that you can clearly monitor it, and you can, whenever you get a time, you shift your focus to some other issue and you can start working on that, so that you don't lose your speed. Now you may have a question like how to track all of that progress that we make in an open source project. So for that I use a tracker doc. So let me show you how does it look like. Okay, so it is something similar to this. I have a doc like this one's. In this, there are four main sections. So the first section is to raise, second is to work on, third one is in progress, and the fourth one is to review and get merged. In this to raise, I basically list all the issues that I have to raise, the ones that I found while using the product, or the ones that I found while doing some test, something like that. So in this, I mentioned all of those issues. After that, I have a to work on section. So in this section, I basically list down all the issues that I have to work on. Either I have raised them or they are raised by someone else. So I basically write down all of those issues here, so that I can, if one issue is taking time to get reviewed, then I just jump onto the second one in this list, and then I start working on that. After that, there is in progress section. So in this, what I do is uh, I basically list down the issues that I'm currently working on locally. So basically, let's say I have three branches locally that I'm parallelly working on, and so in this I list down all of these things, all of those uh, branches or the issues. And so what happens is that, let's say I've raised a PR and it is taking time, then I will just switch to my other branch and then I will start working on that thing. So that is currently in progress. And after that, the last one is to basically review and get merged. So in this, I just list down all the pull request PRs that I have raised, and they are waiting to get reviews from the maintainer, and they are in progress to get merged. And so I keep all of them here. And when they are, let's say, let's say it was in progress and now it's in to review, so I just click on OK here, and then I will just add that particular issue or PR in this section. So this tracker kind of thing helped me a lot while maintaining everything at one place, and also I don't get overwhelmed when I contribute to an open source project. Okay, so after that, there are also some low or no aura things that you should avoid. You should not do it while contributing to open source projects. And the first thing is over pinging on trivial issues. So, as I said it before, that the time or attention of the maintainers is very limited. So, if you just waste it on some trivial issues that can be easily solved or can be easily answered by Google or LLMs, then you shouldn't ask those to maintainers. And so uh, once I have seen a guy who was constantly pinging a maintainer, like, can you assign this issue to me? Can I work on this? Can I work on this? So he did it. He did this a lot of times. So and after and still he didn't got any reply from the maintainer. So then he joined the community and asked the maintainer directly, like, why aren't you replying to my pings that I'm doing to you. So the maintainer said that it's not an issue, it's a pull request. So so basically that guy was pinging on a pull request. Don't be like that. Don't be like this. I mean, uh, be a bit smart and don't waste the time of maintainers. If something can be done without a maintainer, then please do it. Do this. Also, personal DMs and personal DMs to maintainers or members is a big no. Just don't do this. This is considered really not a very good gesture, to be honest. Don't do this. Always keep everything, every conversation public, and unless they tell you explicitly that okay, DM me your email or DM me XYZ, only then do it. After that, pulling down others. Okay, so this is also not very good. In couple of cases I have seen people unnecessarily interfering in someone else's work, like unnecessarily asking them, are you working on this, can I work on this, even though they can see it clearly that they are working on that particular issue. So don't do that. These kind of things don't take us very far. So uh, just you can simply politely ask like, can I please work on this if you are not doing so. So if they are working on on that, then just leave it and move on to some other issues. If they hand it over to you, then just take it and start working on that. One more mistake that people do is like moving very slow. So the problem is like, uh, you cannot in open source, whenever you are there, obviously initially it doesn't matter much, but when you are there for, let's say, having really meaningful contributions, and if you really want to impress the maintainers with your work, then you cannot afford to move slow. You have to be as fast as you can. And one really important tip to be fast is to use the time efficiently. So whenever there is a time between your review process, use that time to find newer issues or to learn a particular concept that is used in that particular open source project. So you there are n number of things to do, you can do while waiting for something. So use that time effectively, and that will have a really great ROI on your portfolio or your overall open source contributions. So other than that, one more very dangerous thing that people do is not following the code of conduct. As I have explained earlier, that you should follow code of conduct. It's not kind of a optional thing. So very recently there was a guy who threatened the maintainer, the GSOC maintainer, when he was rejected. Because he was not a good of a contributor, and they had rejected him for some XYZ reasons. So that guy took it personal and he kind of threatened that maintainer. So don't do such kind of things. That's why I always suggest people to read code of conduct, and it's very easy, very short text. So just read it. And also don't steal someone's work. Obviously learning from someone is a one thing, and stealing someone's work is another. uh, just last year I have seen a guy making a complaint that someone has just stole his GSOC proposal. Basically the other guy just uh, uh, keep, kept the implementation same and just added his own name and details and all of that. So, I mean, don't do such kind of things. These things will never be able to move you forward. So, never look for shortcuts, never steal someone's work. Obviously, you can learn how they implement things. Obviously, you can learn how they code, how they solve a problem, but don't do stealing kind of thing. And one last thing that kind of decrease your aura, or basically your uh, effectiveness, and that is not fulfilling your promise. So that's why I always suggest only bite what you can chew. So if you promise them that okay, you will implement xyz feature, and if you are not able to do so, then obviously once or twice it's okay, but each time if you are doing something like that, like each time you get an issue assigned but you are not able to raise a pr on time, and you are not able to fix it properly, then it is not going to be very good for you, because then they will kind of lose interest in you, and they will think that okay, you are confident but you are not capable enough to do so. So from the next time they might not they may not assign something to you, or they may not kind of have that level of confidence in you. So always fulfill your promise, always start slow, and when you are a bit confident, only then take medium to hard level issues. After that, there is one more key challenge when you are new to open source, and that's what I call beginner's dilemma. So in that, basically there are a lot of problems, like you may have questions like what tools and tech do I need to know to start contributing to open source, how to find or basically pick issues to work on, because initially it's really frustrating, because we end up picking issues that we are not able to solve, or either they are very hard or they are very complex. So how to find and pick issues that we can actually work on. And again, there might be another question, but how to find and select the project to contribute? Like, how to select a project? And I mean, how can I know, okay, this is the project that I have to contribute to, and this project kind of is suitable to my tech stack and to my personal preferences? So, how do I know that? And there might be problems like why setting up a project locally is so terribly hard. And it is indeed very hard, but there are a couple of ways to solve it. And also why it's so complex. Many times you may have a problem related to why everything is so complex in open source, like why this particular issue is so hard to do. So these kind of problems are there, and uh, there are a lot of ways to tackle these kind of issues. And in the end, you may have a problem like why I get stuck often, like why do I get stuck at finding issues, why do I get stuck at solving those, and why do I get stuck at these basic things. So and I mean, having all of these problems as a beginner is completely okay. Even I used to get stuck in all of these problems. So this is what we are going to cover in the upcoming videos, and in the next videos we will see like how to tackle all of these issues one by one. So there will be one video for this and so on. And after that, so that was all in this video. So that this video was more of a theory kind of thing, but these things I always think is are important to understand and to properly know, so that you don't end up making the mistakes that will cost you a lot of aura. So that's all. If you like the video, then you can subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.